We are naturally afraid of death. It's part of what our culture is. I think we're equally afraid of our own aliveness. And so to feel yourself coming alive in this workout can either be suffering or joy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Mental Purpose Podcast. So check it out. Today, got a regular. My good friend, mentor, just all around man on purpose, Phillip Shepherd. He's back because he's got a new book. And I was so excited to dive into this with him. Before I give you, for those of you that don't know Phillip Shepherd, his bio and some information about him, let's go over some stuff we need to get done real quick. If you haven't already, make sure that you join the Men on Purpose community on Facebook, the Men on Purpose community. It's easy. It's free. Now, you ask me, why should I do that? Right now, why should I go to the Men on Purpose community on Facebook and join? I'll tell you. So a couple different reasons. One is if you are struggling with a vision for your life, if you see something as possible, yet you don't know how to get it, that reason. If you don't understand why you're here on this planet, if you have been struggling with the fact that you're a high performance person, a high performance man, you got the bank account and the Facebook profile and the house and the cars to back it up. But every day you sit at your job going, man, is this it? Is this really all there is to life? Like, I can't believe I'm spending my time doing this. And yeah, you're happy about providing for your family, but man, are you confused and in resistance? It's for you. If you're looking for a community of people, like-minded individuals that, you know, you want to be in an ecosystem with other dudes thinking like you, thinking, man, there's got to be more to life. There's got to be more purpose to life for you. If you don't understand your purpose here on this planet, if you don't understand why you're really here and the impact that you actually want to make through your mission, it's for you. I could go on. I could keep going on. But a lot of people ask me, like, what's the community about? What do you guys do? Are you coaching? Are you doing this? Look, Aaron and I are professional coaches. That's what we do for a living. That's what we do as a movement and a mission in life. And yeah, we make a living from that. And that's our purpose. However, it supports our bigger mission, our bigger personal missions. Doing that supports you, which supports our mission, right? So in this, yeah, we have things that we can offer. We have ways, we have content, we have strategies, we have exercises. We have a ton of stuff that we can offer and help you with. You just have to take action and join the free community. That's it. We're over 300 people now. By the time this comes out, probably 350 people, maybe more. We're going for 1,000 people as our next phase because we want to help the most amount of men. One of our missions is to help 10,000 men with our 5 E's. You know what the 5 E's are, right? Empowerment, enrichment, evolvement, elevation, education. I mean, those are the things that we are dedicated to, right? So if you haven't joined it, join it. If you have joined it and you're not participating, participate. Drop something in there. Just drop a, hey, what's up, guys? I just want to know who else is an engineer, who else is a teacher, who else is a real estate agent or a business owner or who wants to be a business owner. The more you share, the more you help. I promise. The more you share, the more you help. You just don't know what your level of impact could be today for somebody inside this ecosystem when you share maybe vulnerably what you're going through, or just ask a question that maybe somebody else is thinking, but they're scared to ask. I can tell you right now that in every mastermind group I've been in my beginning stages, that I was in my beginning stages, I was afraid to speak up because I didn't want to be the only guy that looked like he had problems. I promise you, I felt like the loser. I felt like the weak one. I felt like the guy was always getting vulnerable. And why aren't these other guys having the problems I do? They seem to just do business, make money, have good relationships. But that wasn't true. All of them had problems. You know how I knew that? When one of them broke the code of silence or cone of silence, whatever it is, and spoke up and said, hey guys, I want to talk to you about my marriage. I don't want to talk about units or volume or sales or money or investments or anything today. I want to talk about the fact that I'm having trouble in my marriage. And holy shit, that opened up. And all of us were like, wow, we have challenges too. And man, that taught me that sharing was powerful as hell. And through all my coaches training, through all the personal development that I do, that is what I focus on, is sharing vulnerably and openly with people, because when I share my story, what I've been through and how I've gotten myself into a different spot or a different result, that helps people. And that's a part of my mission and my purpose here on this planet. So whatever we can do to help and support you, please ask. That's why we're here. And if you don't know your mission, you don't know your purpose, you're struggling with your vision, you're having challenges with your marriage, your relationships, you're having issues with your business, you're having issues with your own identity, we got you. We got you. All right. Clear? Get over there right now. The Mental Purpose community on Facebook. Join it. It's easy. You've got to put your email address in because we want to let you know about things going on in the mental purpose world, like this podcast and different little things that we've got going on, like our retreats and things that are available for you to do whatever you need to do with them. Use them however you need to. They're tools for you. So put your email address in. Let's go. Join the community. 1,000 members by the end of the year. That's our goal. Okay. So my guest today, Phillip Shepherd, you know, he's a regular on the show. Phillip's just an absolutely 100% incredible guy. He's got a new book out called Deep Fitness, and it's not what I thought it was. Now, he sent me the book, and I've been reading it very slowly, but I actually stayed true to my commitment, which was don't read ahead, don't flip ahead. Like I missed all the workouts and all the stuff on the back end. But anyway, this book is about working out. It's about presence in working out, just like Phillip teaches. But let me give you a little bit of information about Phillip for those of you that don't know him. So Phillip is one of the leaders in the global embodiment movement. He's written 2 books, and then obviously this third one, Deep Fitness. His 2 books are Radical Wholeness, which is one of my absolute favorite books of all time. It was a game changer for me. Radical Wholeness. Get it on Audible. He reads to you. It's very melodic, and it's like it will just put you into a trance where transformation is like really present. That's what it did for me. His other book is called New Self, New World, and like he's just an amazing guy. And you know, global embodiment and wholeness, like he's the expert. He's developed over 100 original practices to keep people or to help people overcome the deeply encoded habits of disembodiment, which our culture is steeped in. I mean, society and school, they push that on us. They pressure that on us. The work is known as the embodiment presence process, but Phillip is I was just reading below. Phillip is he's just such a stand-up guy and a man on purpose. And like I said, a global leader of the embodiment and wholeness movement. Breath work and failure. And we're going to talk about mindful strength training to failure, which is his practice. We're going to talk about so many different things. One of the things that I brought up in this was suffering. And I just wanted to get his take. The muscles actually suffering. Yesterday, I recorded with Akshay from Fearvana, and we talked about suffering to growth, suffer to grow, suffer to rise up. I wanted to get Peter. Why do I keep saying Peter? I wanted to get Phillip's take on that. So we do in this, and we talk about working out, and we talk about muscle growth. We talk about the importance of that to the body. And we talk about other stipulations or connotations of working out, of that society has or the school put on us or whatever. And it's just a really brilliant conversation, as they all are. So I know I've taken up way too much time right now with my intro. So look, the book is called Deep Fitness, not deep work, as I say in the beginning. It's called Deep Fitness. You're going to love it. It's a really cool and interesting way of looking at a concept that maybe you've never looked at from this point of view. It's about being present. It's about wholeness. It's about embodying fullness. And I think you're going to love this episode. So appreciate you guys listening. Enjoy. All right. Round 3, Phillip Shepherd, round 3. Here we go. You have been become a great known mentor and friend to me, a mentor and friend to the podcast. I support everything you do. You're an expert in wholeness and you know, somebody I look up to very much in the personal development space. And now you're back because you got a new book that I am slowly getting through. Only because it's so deep and I'm just not a fast reader. Just to the audience, I'm not a fast reader. And so I'm going to do the audiobook. I'm going to stop torturing myself and just go to the audiobook.
Yeah, and I get that it's a bit of a slow read. Like my other books, this one, which I co-wrote with Andrei Yakovenko, is challenging things we have accepted
Yeah.
as evident truths. And though, so to hold up and examine something that is obvious and show that in fact it's erroneous, it takes some patience and some thoughtfulness.
Sure. Well, to be clear, I'm a slow reader in general, and the concepts of this book had me so intrigued that I found myself, I was telling you before we started recording, I found myself going and doing research because I just wanted more of an understanding about these concepts that you present that I thought were just the way it is, but I never figured that it wasn't the way that it is. It's a newer concept. So now my curiosity was running wild, and I was putting the book down and going to Google and just starting to research different things because you brought that up in my brain. So that's why it's been slower for me, besides the fact that I'm just a slow reader. Yeah. I can crank through an audiobook at two times or 2x, but I am probably minus 10x when I'm actually reading it.
Got it.
So let's talk about that today, because you've been a part of this community, the Man on Purpose community on Facebook, and done stuff in there. And I know so many guys have gotten stuff out of it, but this deep work book and concept, like, let's just dive into that. Like, why did this need to happen? Why did this concept come up and hold a space so deep in your life that you said, you know what, we have to get something out here. Like, we have to do the research and we have to put this together.
I should say first, the book is called Deep Fitness.
I'm sorry, deep fitness, not deep work.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I keep thinking deep work because the work that you do is so deep. But deep fitness. I'm sorry.
Maybe we should have called it deep work. I don't know. Anyway, that's done. It's called Deep Fitness. I was introduced to this modality of training by the co-author of the book, Andrei Yakovenko, who has a gym in my hometown. And, one of the things that distinguishes it, it's a workout with machines in his gym and the workout is very, very slow. So you're just lifting the weight slowly and letting it down slowly. I mean, the protocol I'm following now is actually you lower the weight for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a long time. And then you lift it for 30 seconds, and then you lower it another 30 seconds, and by then you should come to momentary failure. But if you don't, you keep lifting it until you fail. So there is a mindful quality to that very slow workout where you can be present with the whole of your being to what has happened and feel everything. And he was into mindfulness, and a mutual friend of ours said, oh, well, if you're into mindfulness, you should get in touch with Phillip Shepherd. So I got an email from him saying, I have a gym with a certain workout. I'd love to show it to you. And I'm up for anything. I've never felt a deep affinity for gyms. Always worked out my whole life in different ways, but just being inside on a machine, I've never got it. It's never, but so I go in for the workout, and doing this workout, I was more alive than I'd been for weeks. Just, my whole body trembling and awake, and it just felt wonderful. And he said, well, you can come back if you want. So I came back over and over, and my body changed so significantly, and my life changed. And the workout only takes half an hour, once or at most twice a week. And I mean, when there's something like that has such an impact on your health with such a small time commitment, people need to know about it.
When I first saw the name Deep Fitness, like when you sent me the book, I thought it's a brain workout. It's got to be. Knowing you, it's a brain mind body connection workout, but having to do with the brain or the conscious and unconscious minds working out or something like that. And to understand this concept of, it's like working out in the present moment and not on, like, you know, there's a lot of people that we see on the cell phones in the gym and talking to other people, and they go to the gym for more of a social aspect, which is fine. I told you before, I like wearing a mask because I don't have to look at anybody, or I can look at them, but I don't have to smile, and I don't make conversation because my face doesn't look like I want to make conversation. So when I'm at the gym, I get to be alone. And that's actually kind of scary. And I was talking to someone this morning about being alone in a group of people and how most of the time we can't deal with that. And I want to get your thoughts on this. We have to be included, welcomed in, a part of, and we make ourselves, we adapt ourselves, we adopt new things to get us into those conversations. And I want to get your take on that, because this is actually the way that I'd like to work out, in that I like to be by myself and I like to be as present as possible. I put on some really cool like sound bowls or something in my ears, and I want to be more present, but I feel like there's a disconnection between the presence that I want to be and the intensity of my workouts, sweating and grunting and pushing. So this actually now matches up. But why can't people in general, not saying that everybody, why can't people be alone in a group and be okay with that, in your experience or your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, in a gym specifically, I can talk to that
Yeah.
because you are judging others and you feel judged yourself. And
Yeah.
the workout, when you're doing the workout, you know, there's a part of you that is sort of demonstrating to anyone who's looking how strong you are. And this workout is completely different. Maybe I should set the parameters of the workout
Please.
so that that's clear. You know, you get on the machine and you are as present as possible, and you start. You know, I don't know if this will make sense, but to connect with the machine, not from an idea, I got to do this, but from this embodied place of being willing to feel my life however it comes forth. And then you start moving it slowly, and it's enough of a weight that you can feel it, and you just keep moving it slowly until you literally cannot lift the weight, and then you just hold it until you can't even hold it, and it lowers itself. So you've come to this point of momentary muscle failure, which is such a deep encounter with the self. We're told, oh, don't fail. Whatever you do, don't fail. Give it your best shot, and you'll succeed. And here we are with every single set. We are meeting failure and discovering that cusp within ourselves. And what does it mean then to be present to failure with the whole of your being? And that's very, very different from the way we typically go into a gym, which is we sit in our heads, and you know, our relationship to the body is like the relationship of someone riding a donkey, and we beat it to go faster and harder, and we are in a state of self-conflict with this. We call it mindful strength training to failure. That's what we call our modality, MSTF. With this, you're not apart from the body telling it what to do for its own good, which is sort of our default. You are feeling everything. You are present to this weight that you're moving, and the breath. You know, ideally, the breath originates deep in the body, and the breath is like a piston moving the weight. So every cell in your body is releasing to the breath on the in-breath and the out-breath. And you know, once you get to momentary failure, you don't need a second or third set. And the number of repetitions you do is immaterial. What matters is how long you can be holding this load and moving it. And then, you know, you move on to the next machine. So if you reach failure within the ideal window of a minute and a half to 2 minutes, then you can take every muscle in the body to momentary failure, every major muscle group, uh, within half an hour. And then you need 3 days for the muscle tissue to fully recover.
Wow. Wow. I I would imagine that this is, did you ever think about this before? Did you ever process this in your own working out, or were your workouts somewhat like this? And the reason I ask that is because understanding your concepts of wholeness and breath, presence, and like I would feel that a workout, an intense workout with heavy, panting type of breathing, from a lung place, not a pelvic bowl place or not the depth place, would be against your philosophy. So your workouts would probably be more of a present moment, strength training, in the body, in the breath, out of the head kind of thing, which this is almost perfect for. You're in it with the machine almost.
Yeah, so let me respond to that because you're raising some interesting things. Um, for instance, when I do push-ups, I can feel when I am contracting. When we it's goes back to that alone thing. If I'm in the doing mode with push-ups, I
Yeah.
feel alone. And when my awareness dilates into the present, I feel held by its companionship. I am not alone. I am in this teeming matrix of life where everything I feel also feels me. And so there is that fully present aspect to the push up that, in fact, allows me to go further. I can do more push-ups in that state. It's almost like a surrender to this deep resource in the body and just allowing it to move through me.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not getting through a workout
Yeah,
thinking about the external, thinking about going home and cooking dinner, and
I
therefore you're not alone. You're with you.
yeah, I'm
You're
with
not
me
thinking
and
about the
and
future.
and the floor there is um, how to say this floor that is held me that I've walked on, there is a relationship there, and I don't come out of that relationship. I move more deeply into it.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, and you know, it's that thing of being and doing that we know how to do in a way that's disconnected from being. But what does it mean to allow the doing to be rooted deep within your being, so that the whole of you is in harmony, brought to
Yeah.
bear on this task, whatever it might be.
It's interesting that you say that. One with the floor. I did your course TEPP, the embodiment presence process. Uh, in I did it at the beginning of this year, and I went back through all of my notes in around like the beginning of August, late July, just to see where I've evolved to and the stuff that I had written back in whenever it was February or March when I took it. And and by the way, that was a time where I felt so alone. I was here, I was in LA by myself. My family was back in Baltimore, and I knew I needed to come here as like a um almost like a retreat, to be alone, to process through that phase of my life being over, the last phase, my realtor phase, I needed to be here. It's like a walkabout. And when I went through that, one of the things that I was able to do when I left my house, which was a very emotional time. I mean, much more emotional than I thought it would be, leaving this house that Meredith and I, my wife and I, had built. Well, rehab. We didn't build the whole thing, but we got rehab to the studs, this entire house, basement, backyard, front yard, everything, the whole house. And I remember like so emotionally, like Meredith left. It was just me. The whole house was empty. I hope I can keep it together talking about this. And I remember like watching my tears fall and hit the floor. Like I'm on my knees. I'm toast, right? I'm just giving into what's happening in that moment and just being at one with this space that held space for us for 3 years. New people, new people in this world. And I remember like being so present to my tears leaving my eyes and hitting that floor. And then I remember thinking and like saying to the floor, and I have this on a video, by the way, I recorded myself this whole 25-minute episode because I wanted to look back on it. And I remember saying to myself, like, thank you, floor, for holding the couch that supported, us sitting there when we were, nursing the baby, when my wife was nursing the baby at 3:00 in the morning. And thank you for being a place that held our shoes when we would walk outside in the snow to play, and like just for supporting us as we sat on you, opening Christmas gifts for years, for the 3 seasons that we were here. So I now feel even better because I got that level of connection from you to these immaterial things, these things that you take for granted, but they really are so important in your life, just to be with them. Like a floor is an inanimate object, but that floor did so much for me. You think about it.
Oh yeah. And here's, I mean, there's a schism in our lives. We are encouraged by our culture to accumulate knowledge. And I mean, I look around me and I know what everything is. Like, I know what the floor is. I know what that tree is. I can name it all. I know what everything is. When I know what everything is, I don't have to feel any of it. Why would I? And so this, we live in known relationships where we take everything sort of for granted and don't feel any of it. And this possibility of felt relationship, to feel your relationship with this pen, with this floor, with this book, with this whatever, to feel that relationship, that is what brings your life into blossom. It's felt relationship, and we contract from that into this known world and miss the tenderness of which you speak.
Yeah. And you're saying felt relationship instead of thought relationship, right?
Or instead of
making up
known relationship versus felt relationship. Yeah. Yeah.
And the
So then,
feeling in all your work that I've been through is it's about connection with that feeling, but not the feeling of the result of a thought, like anxiety, right? Let's be really clear on that. It's not the result of the thought in your feeling. It's tapping into the original before the thought feeling about something or just being with something. So this makes perfect sense that you would write a book on this type of fitness and activity for your body. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, I was like a duck to water when I was.
Yeah.
It's just such a deep, easy fit, and like the very first workout I had was a mindful workout. I don't know how, as you said, I don't know how else to do it, and so I was present to it with the whole of my being, and I just lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. How does your partner? How did he get into this? What's the origin story there? I mean, obviously he owns a gym, so he's probably been in the old realm of working out, or has he always practiced this?
No, he was in the old realm of working out, and he realized at a certain age he was working as a mining engineer, and he realized he was getting out of shape. And what do you mean I'm getting out of shape? So he started working out and was getting stronger, and was suffering these injuries, but he sort of plateaued and wondered what that was about. So he discovered Body by Science, a book by Dr. Doug McGuff, which is all about high intensity strength training. And McGuff claimed, in 12, if you give 12 minutes a week, you'll get stronger and stronger. And Andrei said, really? Let's try this out. So we got a group of guys, and once a week they would train out and help each other through it. And at the end of a year, the difference was phenomenal. So then Andrei started reading more and more about this thing, and he felt trapped in his job. I mean, every part of his life was successful with this job, and he didn't have room to breathe in it. So he handed in a letter of resignation without any kind of a plan, and was researching this form of fitness, and went to Zurich to look at Kieser training, which is the largest gym franchise in German-speaking countries there, and came back and opened his own gym based on that model, really.
Is there I have so many questions about it. And the thing that pops up while you were saying that was, is it the relationship with suffering, that not suffering in terms of our English made up word about suffering and or like trauma, we have this more negative connotation toward trauma and suffering, but is it the muscle that we're so used to pumping, which it gives the muscle to tear, it gives the muscle to push, but it doesn't leave the muscle in the most uncomfortable and vulnerable position possible for an extended period of time? Is that what that's what I'm associating with suffering? Is that what we're talking about here?
So it's it's interesting you choose the word suffering, because one common perception when it comes to high intensity strength training is that it is a form of suffering. And, but it's only half an hour once a week, you can get through it. And I have never experienced it as a form of suffering. Okay,
I meant at a deeper level. As the muscle, on the muscle level, like maybe our presence, our like being isn't suffering.
So I'll get there. I hope. If I miss the mark, let me know. We are naturally afraid of death. It's part of what our culture is. I think we're equally afraid of our own aliveness. And so to feel yourself coming alive in this workout can either be suffering or joy. And as you move into it, there is, do you know bioenergetics? It's a body work modality where you're put into stressful situations and the emotions come. Well, some of that happens just because you're wide open. And so my original experience was one in which, like, the frustrations and the anxieties that accumulate, I walked into that first workout just cleared out because I gathered all of that energy and put it to use. So the suffering, I mean, there was huge stress to the muscles, and they love it. It's known as hormesis. Hormesis is a stress to the body that initiates a positive change. The muscles want to be used. That the body loves to feel itself activated in that way. But if you're afraid of your own aliveness, you shrink from that, and then you're pushing it despite yourself. You're in this self-conflict. Yes, there's a vulnerability to coming to the end of a set and you can barely lift your arm. But there's such a deep presence to it. There's such an ease to it. There's a moment at the end of a set where you finally, the weight comes down, and there is this wash of bliss through the body. There's like no desire, no frustration, nothing, just pure being. And that state alone would keep me coming back over and over and over.
That's so cool. I'm excited to flip through this book. And are the workouts in there?
Yeah. So in the book, there's a section of workouts you can do on machines, like at your local gym.
Yeah.
And then there's a section of workouts you can do at home with just your body weight and a resistance band.
Oh, so beautiful.
Okay. Anyone can put this to use immediately just in their living room.
Got it. was trying not to cheat and go forward, but I figured there'd be workouts in there, so I should have just gone. That's cool. I have realized last year this time I was working out very heavy. I was watching my T levels and I was watching intake of nutrients and macro and micro, and I had a trainer. And I gained a lot of muscle and I got a lot stronger. And I just, the same cycle repeated, which was, okay, well, now I'm bored. It's been 75, 90 days. You know, there's no goal here except to get stronger, but that's not as sustainable as if I had a real goal, obviously to be the healthiest version of me and blah, blah, blah. But that's not enough to sustain it in all honesty. And like, I talk to a lot of people who call me and say, hey man, like I'm in major conflict because I thought my mission in life was to provide for my family, but I realized that every time I have the chance to be with my family and spend time with them, I only want to provide. I'm sorry. I say I want to spend time and be with my family, but really all I do in action is provide. And I say that providing isn't the most important thing, but it turns out that in action it is. So that mission's not sustainable. It's not adding up. And the same thing with me working out. And I think probably a lot of people working out is there's not a real mission and not a real goal there. And I'm just getting bored. And so I got bored. I got here in January of this year. Gyms were closed. So I was doing some push-ups and some pull-ups and some sit-ups and things like that, but it wasn't enough. Is there a way for someone to really tap into a mission with this and motivation with this that's bigger than getting stronger, working out, being healthier, which are kind of universal concepts? They're not personalized concepts.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an individual thing, but if you truly want to know yourself, to explore your possibilities, to encounter yourself at the edge, which is what this does every single time. If you want to grow in that way, there is no limit to what this protocol can bring, because every time you meet failure, it is different. And there's that whole realm of self-honesty. You know, if you're in your head, the head starts spinning stories. Oh, maybe I can do one more. Oh, I don't know. I think I got to stop now. I mean, oh, go harder. Like, full of stories. And how do you even know when you failed or not? But when you're deep in the body, when you're totally present to it, you are, it's like boring a well. You're going deeper and deeper into resources you didn't even know were there until you needed them. And so that dilation, that opening into the self, I'm not just more alive doing the workout than at any other time during my week. I am more centered and grounded and awake to the world. And, you know, that's, for me, that's such a personal mission, that the exploration it affords. Every workout really is a spiritual practice.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to frame it. And so I am moving more and more deeply into that. Um, every time I go, it's opening my heart, my soul, my body. And there is such a deep abiding joy, that, you know, that bliss that comes with it. I'm just tugged to come back, and boredom, haven't experienced it yet.
It's interesting. Where does that reach when we talk about failure and understanding, or what you said was, how do we know where failure is when we're grunting and pushing ourselves? Is that from an ego place that we're pushing ourselves for just one more rep? And is that beneficial in understanding the body's limitations or your own failure limits versus what you're talking about? Is it,
Yeah.
Obviously this one is much more deeply connected with the body and not on the ego side of like, just get it.
There's a qualitative difference between pushing yourself from a place of will and allowing every resource in your being to come forth and move this weight. So, I mean, that sense of allowing this energy to come through me, allowing the breath to move it, allowing what deep within me knows how to move it further, to just, it's like stepping out of the way and letting that happen. And it's extreme, and I get loud um, doing it. And within all that, there is, the still point at the center of my being, that resting place that is just allowing it, not getting in its way, not trying to turn it into a story, just allowing it to happen and feeling it.
It's a totally different thought process around this concept of working out. I mean, I love it. I think it's really cool. Any muscle group, or is it to the big muscle groups? Any muscle group?
Yeah, I mean, Andrei at his gym, New Element Training, has Med-X machines, which we talk about in the book. And I'm convinced there's a Med-X machine for every muscle in the body. There's a Med-X machine to engage the pelvic floor. There's a Med-X machine for a shoulder shrug, for a rotator cuff. So the major muscles of the body, you would do the leg press, which engages the glutes, the quads, everything, and the chest press, and the pull down or the chin up, and the shoulder press lifting up, and the row, and there you've got the major muscle groups right there. Well, as well as there's an exercise where you're pushing the arms open, and those muscles between the shoulder blades are engaging, and they fall asleep with age. So people with age, that hunch, it's like there's no strength to support the back, and so to become aware of those muscles in a new activated way is pretty brilliant.
I'm really excited to try this now.
I'm really excited to hear how it goes for you.
I've got the key fob to my gym now in my pocket, which is, by the way, there's no excuse. It's literally across the street from my house. Literally, it's the neighborhood community gym right across the street from my house.
That's beautiful.
So no excuses. And can you just do it by yourself? Do you need a partner? I mean, I'm thinking like you're using a machine. You're not using free weights, right?
We recommend machines if you have access to them. Free weights, if you're going to failure, that can get a little messy. You get it over your head and you hit failure. Not so great. But the other thing I might add is just one of the things the book overturns is our understanding that the most important exercise is cardio or aerobic exercise. That when we exercise, the main effect it has is on conditioning the heart and the lungs, and that to go for a long run is to do the best possible thing for your health, and all of that is false in one way or another. So when we exercise, it's not primarily conditioning the heart and the lungs. The adaptations happening in the body are happening in the muscles. The condition that is associated with all the major chronic diseases of civilization is called sarcopenia, and it means a wasting of muscle with age. And that's, there's some inevitability to that. I can't run as fast as I could when I was 25, but I'm not that far off. And in some ways, I'm stronger now than I was at 25. And we used to think that muscle had one primary function, to move us around. Muscle has two primary functions, and we've only learnt about the second one in the last 20 years or so. Muscle is, in effect, a hormone factory. When muscle works, it creates messenger molecules that go through the body and promote health in every single tissue and organ. They improve bone mineral density and the immune system and mental acuity. Everything is affected by, and they're called myokines. And myokines are a fairly recent discovery. 2003, I think they were discovered. They've now found there are 600 different myokines that go through the body. So when we say exercise is good for you, we now know why. Because exercise works muscles that promote health through the whole of the body. And the stronger a muscle is, and the more intensely it contracts, the more myokines it makes. And unless you work a muscle to intensity, sarcopenia will continue, because the largest, strongest muscles in the body are only engaged when the endurance muscles are fatigued and the intermediate muscles are fatigued, and only then do the large muscles come online. So unless you're working out intensely, you never activate those larger muscles. I mean, you can walk for half an hour every day, and you're still losing muscle mass. So the intensity of the workout not only accelerates increasing strength, but it also activates the largest muscles to get them stronger and stronger.
Got it. Oh, that makes perfect sense if you think about it. Do you have to do anything, or would you recommend anything before or after, since this is such a present process?
I mean, a moment of mindfulness before wouldn't hurt a thing.
Yeah.
And after, the body needs protein to rebuild the muscles. So
Yeah.
immediately after a workout, it's really helpful to that process to get some protein shake, whatever it might be. But that's what the body needs to remodel the muscles.
I mean, in terms of, before the workout, kind of get yourself into some kind of slower state, like a meditation, a quick meditation or breath work or something. And then afterward, is there anything to just let that, let that effect that you just experienced, like let that just process and soak in for a second, versus roll out of the gym? Obviously it's a different process, but roll out of the gym, jump in the car, get home, get dinner. It's so much more present than that. So you're not thinking about and processing, oh my God, I gotta go. I only have 30 minutes. You're just with it.
For me, it doesn't take conscious effort to linger in that state. It follows me where I go. So, I mean, I finished my workout in the gym. I have to take a boat to get to my house, and ferry only leaves at certain times. So I hop on my bike and ride through rush hour traffic to get the boat home, and my whole body is trembling. Am I going to be strong enough to apply the brakes, that sort of thing, and alive to the world? And that it follows me. There's no escaping it. The body has significantly changed, and the body is that state endures.
That's so great. And so 30 minutes a week is the entire body workout.
Yeah, and you can do it once a week and get stronger and stronger. You can do it twice a week and you'll get stronger more quickly, but don't do it 3 times a week, because just as important as taking a muscle to failure is the recovery. And if you interrupt the recovery, you'll go backwards. So like, you need 3 days at least between workouts. So at most you'll get in 2 workouts a week.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm on it, and I'm gonna report back
I look forward
my
to
results. Yeah, yeah. And listen, this is it's always a pleasure to have you on, and just to hear you speak about things, even just the way you speak about things so eloquently. It's so refreshing. But to know that there's somebody like you out there, not only solidifying these concepts, researching them, getting them into the mainstream, but to guide all of us that are on these journeys as well. And to know that we've got a guide that will never stop thinking about, you know, the way you work out. I appreciate that. And I know this audience appreciates that. So thank you. Thanks for being here and, you know, spending more time with me and the Mental Purpose community.
It's been a treat, Ian. It's such a pleasure sitting around and exploring this stuff with you. So thank you.
I appreciate it. You've definitely opened my eyes to a whole new realm. And I think that's the point is exploration of what else is possible. And it's great. I appreciate you and I appreciate this. And I'll definitely report back to the community. And you with some results that I'm getting from Deep Fitness.
Yeah, and just to say on a closing note, anyone can get stronger. Whatever state you're in, overweight or feeling bad about yourself or depressed, you can get stronger. And when you get stronger, you'll feel better. And it's such a simple thing to do.
Yeah. Where can people get the book? Amazon, website?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, your local bookstore can get it in. It's distributed by Penguin Random House. So it's wherever you live around the world, it's available, which is really nice.
Is there a Deep Fitness website?
There is. Deepfitness.life is the website for the book. And my website is embodiedpresent.com. And do check out Andrei's website. It is newelementtraining.com. And there's even on Andrei's website, newelementtraining.com, there's a library of videos where every exercise in the book is demonstrated with Andrei coaching. And you know, you can, it's like a membership for $9.99 a month, and you get access to the whole library and a Zoom call with Andrei and me once a month and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, it's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, we feel good about it.
Well, thank you, my friend, for being here. I wish you the best in Europe, and keep your mask doubled up if you can.
You bet I will. You bet I will. All the best.
And we'll see you when you get back.
I look forward to it. Absolutely. Take good care.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Audience, thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.